6, 5. We've got smoke. 4, 3. We've got ignition. 2, 1. We've got RIP takeoff out there. We've got RIP takeoff out there. Welcome to another edition of the Self Love Show. This is 187 Bars, Volume 8. Our Dead Rappers series. Rest in peace to XXXTentacion. And condolences to his family. Got a lot to unpack here. So the Self Love Show will start in less than 5 minutes. We're going to play a couple videos, allowing everyone time to like and share this link. Please like and share this link with the pubic Self Love Show. TATN, you can kick the demo on your ready. Please like, share, subscribe. I gotta stop this. See how he gets in there.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
But you know, I saw it like everybody else saw it. It looks like a white people attacking a black man. I thought that, I felt that was the case, what everybody's thinking. But you know, I don't know the hearts of those men. I have no idea what's in their hearts.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
I think that the dice are loaded, and that's what's left out of Mr. Brown's piece. See, there was a period of time in this country after Reconstruction where African people owned a lot of land, owned a lot of businesses, and did a lot of things. But what happened was the American government, the Ku Klux Klan, and other organizations organized in smashing that effort. So it's not that we haven't tried to own lands and have not organized businesses. It's that if you are African in America, or in Latin America, or in the Caribbean, or in the continent, you will be hunted no matter what you do, because they do not want us to survive and become self-sufficient. The sincerity of all of the programs and all of the education has to be questioned, indicted, and convicted, because the bottom line is that America is not and has never tried to produce African adults who are functional, self-sufficient, who understand their politics.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember,
I'm only offering you
all
the truth.
I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
But can you handle the truth? Whose truth? All right. Yes, sir. We are live. It's the Self Love Show in the building. Self Love Vision. Much better. I'm getting background music. Hold on, gentlemen. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom. Welcome aboard. This is the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network. I'm your co-host, 9 Mills. All praise due to the ancestors, Most High, and my beloved Mama Sky. Today, we're going to explore some of the metaphysical messages that XXXTentacion conveyed through his music, as well as we're concluding the serious circumstances surrounding his death. This artist was a controversial figure in the hip-hop industry. He rose to fame with his raw and emotional style of music, which blended elements of emo, trap, punk rock, and lo-fi. He was also known for his troubled personal life. He was shot and killed in a robbery in Florida when he was only 20. But despite his short and turbulent career, XXXTentacion left behind a huge musical footprint and a loyal fan base. His songs have amassed billions of streams on platforms like Spotify and YouTube out there, and his albums have reached the top of the charts in several countries. He's also influenced many other artists in the emo rap and SoundCloud rap genres, such as Juice WRLD, R.I.P., Lil Peep, and Trippie Redd. Did he know too much? Was his death an industry sacrifice? Around here, we question everything. So sit back out there. Sit back, relax, and enjoy another entertaining episode of the Self Love Show. These are lessons, not lectures. We're live and live in color. And today is Sunday, August 20 at about 2:26, I believe that says, in the great city of Chicago. And as always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe, but thankfully, we all Scooter chose to be here together. Here together. Chi-town, bear down, bear down, bear down, what down, brother Wordsmith. What you manifesting today?
Love, man. You know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Ditto, good brother. Pure, magnificent, magnanimous, unfettered, unfiltered. Some have said harsh, many have said tough, but love just the same.
No doubt.
So what's been up with you since the last Self Love Show, bro?
I want to say happy born day to Big Mark. Yesterday was his birthday.
Big Mizak. Yeah, happy turn around to burn, bro.
Yes, sir. And I wanted to say R.I.P. to Casper. His funeral was yesterday.
Oh, yeah, my wife told me about that. That's from the Casper Slide, right?
Yes, sir.
You knew him personally out there?
Yeah. He was a big competitor against Jackie.
Slacko.
The Panamine, world.
Oh yeah, I forgot Slacko is he's an artist. He was one of the best.
Yeah. And they used to go at it at that. So, Casper used to be over at my guys.
So you mean they were doing what like Turbo would do?
No, mimic the song.
Yeah.
You act like they're singing the song and
okay.
Have big routines, and
they was ahead of their time because remember it was a national show that did that.
Yeah, they both of them are very good at it. And it's the Self Love Show, yo.
All right.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Casper.
Yeah, I didn't make it to the services. Jacko called me after. Slacko.
Slacko went?
Yeah.
And big ups. All right, man. So what to expect on today's show? We always have our quote of the day, and then we run a short 1-minute platform video. That's what we stand on. It's our foundation. Then we're going to unpack a video that shows our government interacting with the citizens, and we'll decide if they're living up to the oath or if they're committing tyranny. That's very important to our movement here. Root out tyranny and all of its ugly existence. Then we have a riddle. Your mind is an awful thing to waste, so we do a dome teaser. I'll give you the riddle. Give you the whole show to come up with the answer, process, use your brain, like the new Bears quarterback Tyson Bagger Vance. You can use your brain and come up with the answer, but normally my co-host here slaps the crap out of you guys and solves it before you because he's smarter. And then our topic is a series we do, 187 bars. We have a theory that, well, it's not a theory. The most dangerous job to have right now is a rap artist. So we've been running this series and just looking at alternatives to the common view of, how they were killed or how they died. Was there any tin hat theories, conspiracy theories behind it? Looks like we're going to have to revisit the Tupac one we did because more information is coming out on that. But today it's about R.I.P. XXXTentacion. Condolences to his family. Hits, murder, unpacked. Phone lines are open, troll free. That's 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll free.
Once again, 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Absolutely, positively troll free.
Trolls get what?
Holes around here.
That's right. We'll make you famous. I'll be your Huckleberry. Yeah, that's right.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only takes one. So go ahead and smash that like button. Doesn't cost you a dime. And then post this link on your social medias if you find that within your soul to do so. We appreciate that. It helps the channel grow. And then we wrap it up with my personal favorite part of the shebang, and that's where this brother to my right, that's where he summarizes today's show, our topic, in a bit of metaphysical prose right off the top of his dome. And it's a fit of genius, I'd say. All right. And announcements, I'd say to Ace, you know what I'm saying? Big ups, man. We're glad you did show and everything, and we see you out there. We need you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs you and loves you, and get out there, you know. Change your diet out there. No more fat back, you know. Pork ribs out there. You know what I'm saying? And also, I wanted to stop this here. You know, ask you guys to say prayers for our brother Raynard Hall. Raynard Hall. So, you know, Raynard, you know, we love you and everything. And yeah, prayers up to you. So, you know, yeah.
Facts.
And so also stop the violence. Stop, you know, life's valuable. You don't know it until you lose it. So, you know, stop the violence and get yourself some medical checkups out there, huh, Self?
Yes. Or make sure that your diet includes some things that's going to keep you healthy.
Some roughage and some fiber. I think like 70% of your diet should be that at minimum. Oats, grains.
Starting to hear more about some of the oats and grains we're not supposed to be eating. But that's for another show.
Interesting. Yeah, you know, I stopped the last week, about the last 8 days I've been bogus because, you know, I do 30 minutes walking up and down the stairs. I live on, you know, the first floor, 30 minutes. Well, no, not 30. I do 20 to 25 minutes a day, but I fell off. So I got to get back on that. A little bit helps keep that thing pumping out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you guys like, share, subscribe. If there's any rap artists out there. Oh,
Ace. You know I don't eat pork.
I was wondering if he can live that down. Look at that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So fat back. Yeah. But if there's any you know, hip hop artists, or if you know someone in the genre, or maybe you've lost someone, or you're a fan of XXXTentacion, you know, we definitely, you know, want to hear you guys' opinion. The self-love is typed in the chat. This is an interactive situation out here. So we always ask that you guys, it helps the show go and grow. The more comments that you're able to matriculate. So outside of that, I guess I can go ahead and shut my trap, take a big cup of shut the STFU and turn it over to this brother so he can handle his business.
Welcome to the Self Love Show. Today we're continuing our series 187 bars with XXXTentacion. Is it a hit? Is it murder? Gonna unpack it. Troll free lines are open. As always, we have a very important video for you to watch. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which we are building the Self Love Nation off of. But before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. It's unfortunate because it's like, yo, when people die, that's when we like them, you know? Because your remorse kind of makes you check them out. It's unfortunate. once again, it's unfortunate because it's like, yo, when people die, that's when we like them, you know, because your remorse kind of makes you check them out. XXXTentacion. Hoping I'm not butchering that, but I feel like I am. Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen. And number 10 is to protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Absolutely. That is absolutely important. That was the platform, you guys. So please like, share, subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't catch last week's show, dip into that. Do we respond to a new dawn? Just getting a good number of views. So
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting topic, and we should know that. So check it out. It's lots of information.
Yeah, you said something interesting regarding talk to the young ones, talk to the youth when they're still in theta.
Yep.
Ask them, listen.
Don't make fun of them. What they say, any response they give, encourage it. It's a purpose. It's a purpose for the last life you came from.
Yeah, they're your fractal. And if you don't think you can learn from your fractal, you're what?
Stupid.
Facts. All right. So yeah. All right. So did you see Tumbling 12 to video? Tumbling 12 is what we call it.
I stay pretty much unplugged. I'm not sure.
Well, don't worry about it. Our crack production staff has keyed up something for you here. Big ups to Inside Edition. This is fair use. Tumbling 12 idea.
It almost hurts to watch.
Oh!
A police officer is taking a quick break, heading down a popular slide. Ouch! It's like he's shot out of a cannon. He hits the ground hard. It may look funny, but he had to be treated for a head injury.
What do you mean it may look funny?
The slide is meant for kids only. Posted warning signs say not intended for adult use.
You should be arrested.
5-year-olds only. But that's not stopping grown-ups from trying it out. In fact, they're flocking to it.
Oh!
How does a child go down that?
Right.
Check out the bump on this woman's head.
It was really scary. I honestly, not to sound dramatic, but I waited a few days to post the video because I wasn't totally sure that I was going to be okay.
As you can see, when kids go down the slide, it seems pretty placid. Not so much for adults.
Hey, the kid was holding on to the side.
Dubbed the cop slide and has become a bona fide tourist
Tori,
attraction.
take that back a little bit to where the kid came down the slide.
Online
The kid
reviews
is smarter than all of them.
The line can be
Because I was
long.
wondering how the kids do it too. I thought it was way.
Perplexed as to why only adults are getting injured when
I thought it
according
may
to
have
the
been,
laws of physics.
Hey, take that back. I thought it may have been weight. I thought it may have been No, but
weight is what I thought.
watch this kid's technique though, Self.
He had his legs spread, everything.
Okay.
And he's
As
holding
you
on
can
to the
see, when
side of the
kids go down the
slide.
slide,
Look,
he seems pretty placid.
he's been down there before.
Not so much for adults. It's now being dubbed the cop slide and has become a bona fide
Cop
tourist
slide.
attraction in Boston. It's even on Google Maps.
Oh
Online
my
reviews
God.
suggest you get there early. The line can be long. Even this PhD in physics is perplexed as to why only adults are getting injured when, according to the laws of physics, adults and kids should fall at the same rate.
It requires more exploration, scientific exploration, to see what's really going on.
There are
That's
no
the
plans
lies about
to shut
gravity
down the
again.
slide in Boston.
Yeah,
Officials
because
just hope
is there
everyone
gravity?
uses
Is that a
common
real thing?
sense.
Yeah. I mean, my first question is there's a sign up there that says 5 to 12 years old only. What happens when you're 13, Self? What happens when you're 13? I mean, who, what? We've got to go do it. We've got to go do that, Self.
Man, that's you see them people come flying out of there.
How are they landing on their face? Like, what's going on?
Oh my God.
You saw the one girl was able to come down on her, one lady on her back. Like,
Yeah.
even then, they smacking their head on the concrete. You need a helmet, and you got to be conscious of where you're at. It's like it's a time warp.
He's smacking the head inside of the slide too. That's what it seemed like. Cause I'm like, did this man go head first in the slide? How did he turn around? He must have went head first.
Right. He went head first. The sign says 5 to 12 years old only. As an adult, I would think, okay, so they don't want 4-year-olds to get on it. But it says 5 to 12. You know?
Once you get past a certain weight.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's
Now, I don't want to stay on this too long, but, you know, I went to Drop Dead Gorgeous William H. Ray School in Hyde Park. Beautiful ivy on the outside. So we had what they call, because we had blacktop, we were one of the first schools to black tar the pavement. Somehow we had funding. But we had the rubber that they would, you know, the rubber they had on the playground. So
yeah.
why don't somebody invest in some rubber to put under that thing? I mean, seriously. Shruga
Somebody.
said, why is that after the slide video, people line up to bust it? Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go, Israel. I want to talk to that kid did you see that kid? That kid was holding on and, like you said, had his feet to the side. That kid, see, you watch other kids do it as a shorty. You be like, okay, there's a technique involved. Yeah, otherwise, they be like, Tori, your homie be there. Otherwise, you're going to bust your head. You know, I saw little Ray do it. He scraped his face all on the concrete. He's still in the hospital. The kids are lining up for it.
Oh, my God.
Who designed that? The physics guy,
Had to be a comedian.
the physics scientist, big science self can't even explain it.
Yeah.
Tyranny.
I
mean, the reason I put it up there, Self, the sign clearly said, 5 to 12. There was a sign posted. He got his ass in there in his uniform.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know if he was on duty or off duty. The taxpayers are paying for him to bust his face and scrape his face on the concrete like that.
And then we got to pay for him to get it, healed.
Yeah, he's off time and stuff. Good point. First off, I hope he's okay. And, I've got to say that for YouTube purposes. Yeah. But what do you think?
I enjoyed it too. I would tell him that too.
Yeah,
I hope he's fine. I'm glad you're okay.
She was like, some people may find this funny. You damn right we find it funny. That's why you guys are showing it. But I got to learn tact like that, Self. Some people might find this funny, but I just saw this guy bust his ass out there. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't look like such a jackass when, But I'm gonna say that's not tyranny. I like it. I like seeing my police officers bust their face down. Let's hear what the chat thinks.
He broke the little rule, but you know.
He did break the rule. It don't even say for your safety. That sign should have a red. It should be red as shit because you will bust your face. The science on this hasn't been proven. Nobody knows what's going on here, but you will bust your head.
Absolutely, say no head first as well.
Because I would go down head first as a kid. But as a kid, so if you would have made it out, you'd have saw that concrete at the bottom of that. You'd have saw that concrete at the bottom of that, and you'd have made that out. You'd have made that out.
You see how close the slide was to the ground?
Yes.
Man.
There's no time when you come off the bottom of that slide to right yourself.
Right, if you're not already right.
Did you see Shorty?
That kid had his legs spread, had his arm. He didn't even make it to the end of the slide. He didn't even get all the way there. And these people come around that corner.
But you know why? Because we're discounting. You know, Self, how you play basketball every day and you're more into it. You got the muscle memory. We're discounting being a kid out there and riding on different slides and still out there doing stuff with the modern technology. Yeah, that kid has seen that before.
And the grown-ups seem to be like trying to be aerodynamic. So they go faster and it doesn't work out there.
Man, that looked like a South Park episode. And some of them knew they was going to bust their head. They had hoodies on and helmets and shit. You need goggles. You need a mouthpiece. I would wear a full helmet.
You just need to slow yourself down out there. Just touch the walls just like the little guy did.
All right, let's go through it. we got to talk to the little guy, have him come out there and coach us. You know what I mean? That'll be some great content. Yeah, that's what you got to do. I don't know what's wrong with these people, you know? All right. We digress. Yeah, you guys, please like, share, subscribe. We got one more for you guys. This one is called, it's Pink Crime. Karen. Fox Detroit. Out there. Fair use, educational purposes, edutainment purposes.
When I got the tip this afternoon about these accusations, I really thought that I had heard it all. I didn't believe it till I was in court watching and listening to the accusations leveled against this Taylor woman. You guys said it. She's accused of having sexual relations with the family dog named Max. It's apparently all on camera. Now she's charged with sodomy and animal abuse.
Do you hear this?
Ever seen anything like this?
What?
I have not.
You probably have not either. It all started like this.
A gentleman comes in the front desk like they do all day, every day.
Like the beginning of a bad joke that turned terrible.
She did own up to performing these acts on Max.
The Taylor man says this week he caught his ex-girlfriend Brittany McClure on home surveillance cameras at their Taylor home they still share.
In that video, it shows defendant Brittany McClure lying on the living room floor on what appears to be a mattress covered with a blanket. She then removes the blanket and calls the dog over to her.
That's Taylor PD's detective Philip Collop, who had to analyze the 6-minute video.
She is heard saying, "Good boy."
He secured charges against McClure for sodomy and animal abuse. Max is even named as the victim in his report.
Plain as day, it's his ex-girlfriend performing fellatio on the dog named Max, and her attempts to get Max to reciprocate.
Lieutenant Frank Canning, at this job 24 years, he's dumbfounded, says McClure confessed and even told investigators why.
Kind of a interest in a fetish, stuff that was seen on the internet.
Good news, Max was not hurt.
Yes, Max is fine.
Yeah, the dog's not traumatized.
In the custody of his
that dog looks traumatized.
Yeah, it looks traumatized. It does. It got sodomized.
The judge setting a $100,000 personal bond. McClure apparently
you
says
see, take that back a little bit to the judge.
He's never done this.
Just a little bit to the judge. You can do it from here. Yeah.
Max is going to be.
That's what I was trying to do last time.
You don't have to get on that loop and all that. Just click and drag that red bar. Yeah. Judge, right there. Look on the
Brittany's ex-boyfriend.
No contact with any animals.
The judge.
Look on the judge's computer. What does that say on his computer?
Slav, but it looked like slave or something.
Yeah, and slave is rooted in Slavic. And look at that. It's subliminal. You see that?
Yeah. I didn't see that before.
Yeah, I didn't see it the first time I watched it either. Well, I saw it subconsciously, but
Yeah.
Setting a $100,000 personal bond. McClure apparently says this is the first time she's ever done this.
I would like to think that Max is going to be in good hands and that this happening again.
We realize that is a
You
lot.
see that dog, Self?
That
dog looks traumatized.
No criminal record
Like a
whatsoever. That's part of the reason the judge issued that personal bond, which means she will be out of custody. And now, side note on those cameras,
this is worse than what Michael Vick did.
Not because there was any kind of suspicion that something was going on. They were kind of everyday home surveillance cameras. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
I was just going to ask.
So, I mean, that doesn't seem like something that couples counseling couldn't help them through, right? I mean,
they're already separated, so they're already not together. They live together, but they said ex.
You wouldn't work it out? Well, what's he doing filming her for?
I don't know. They said it was the surveillance cameras in the house.
Yeah, that's
sick.
Poor
She's a
dog.
sick puppy.
Poor dog. I mean, they said that. I mean, that's crime.
Yes, it is.
You know.
Oh, camera.
Yeah, they keep trying to say that this dog wasn't traumatized, and we can clearly see.
Man, you can clearly see that. I mean, every picture they showed of that dog was looking like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I could work it out with her. We just couldn't have a dog. You know what I mean? And you know what I do? So, because that was just your girlfriend, more like you're married or had any kids. I'd walk around just to humiliate her and shame her. Now, keep your dog away from. Don't leave her in there. We'd be out in places. Don't leave her alone. Was that a boy or a girl, dog? Don't leave her alone with that damn dog. Can't take her ass nowhere. I do that. You know what I mean? Why are you with her? Just so I can discredit her and shame her. Y'all got a dog? No, we can't come over there. I can't trust her. You know what I'm saying? But around dogs, our counselor said just keep her away from dogs. Cats. You know what I'm saying? But all right. So yeah, enough of that. All right, you guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe out there. Like, share, subscribe. I've already taken the privilege of putting today's dome teaser or riddle into the chat. So here we go, Self Love. If a rooster out there laid a brown egg and a white egg, what kind of chicks would hatch? Self Love has an immediate thumbs up. You guys, you can clearly read the riddle in the chat. If a rooster laid a brown egg and a white egg, what kind of chicks would hatch? Self Love has an immediate thumbs up. I don't see anything typed in our personal quaffers. And let's see. He's 100% correct. Like he's processing again, boy. That Tyler Badgett got all the black men in Chicago processing. He's the backup quarterback for the Bears. Everybody want to keep their job. That's around, boy. He processing. Self Love is right. I'll give the chat time to matriculate. But good brother, enough of the appetizers out there.
Let's quench the Self Love Nation's thirst.
I'm with it. I am with it. All right. Looks like we should have a promo joint. If everything is right, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Next week on the Self Love Show.
What's the point of music? Niggas don't know. It's not always to have fun, just to help people find themselves, because music is frequency programming.
187 bars. What is that block of the screen, bro?
That I'm really actually helping people.
I don't know why.
I was doing sound engineering.
And it was very metaphysical, so.
Yeah, that's why he was slated for execution. I really didn't know who he was until he passed.
Well, I mean, that's what J. Cole said.
And I never even heard a little.
Next week when we really go deep and explore this.
It looks like white people attacking a black man. I thought that. I felt.
All right, we appreciate our production staff. And let me get my camera going here. First, from our sponsors.
Cool weekends in the morning, 97.1 FM. Weekends in the morning with Weenie in the butt. WHG 97.1. 97.1. 97.1. In the morning, cool weekends. FM. Weenie. And the Magnetic Monkey 97.1. Cool weekends in the morning. All weekend long. Weenie and the Butt. In the morning. On the radio. FM. Dickie the Punchline Donkey on Cool 97.1. Cool weekend. On the radio. In the morning. FM. Cool. WQHG. Cool weekends. In the morning. On 97.1. 97.1. Weenie in the Butt. 97.1. In the afternoon. In the afternoon. Oh my God. WQHG. Turn it on and rip the knob off. You're listening to the radio. Weenie in the Butt.
All right. Thanks to our sponsors. That's 97.1, right, Self Love?
All right. 97.1. Cool station.
Go ahead and rip the knob off. In the morning. Oh, man. All right. So you guys, if you want to be sponsors, come at us creative. You know what I mean? We'll go ahead and run that for you. Have some fun out there. Make some money. All right. So let's get on to this more serious topic. 187 bars. This is volume 8. XXXTentacion. Hits, murder. We're going to unpack this today. So let's just go ahead and jump in it. I said a lot at the top of the show. What's his government name, so? I got it here. You don't have to look it up. Just one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, born January 23rd, 1998, passed June 18th, 2018. He was first generation Jamaican born. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. From Plantation, Florida.
Yeah, that's where he's from. Spent most of his childhood year in Lauderhill, Florida. He had Jamaican parents. And his father named him. You remember when we were talking about this leading into the show, I said the kid reminded me of Bob Marley out there. His message.
Yeah.
His dad named him for Bob Marley. He's named after the song So Ja Say.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Ain't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. It interpolates Ezekiel. So both Onfroy's father and grandfather were Rastafarians. He was born with a ventricular septal defect in his heart out there, hole in the heart. He never grew taller than 5'6". He stated he also had Egyptian or Syrian, Indian, and possibly Italian ancestry in an interview. Mother's personal problems, I believe it was some sort of addiction, and abuse, alcohol or something, maybe drugs. I'm not 100. He was mainly raised by his grandma, Colette Jones, in Pompano Beach, Florida, and Lauderhill. When he was 6, he allegedly tried to stab a man, attempting to attack his mother when he was 6. And he was eventually put into a youth program before living with his grandmother. A source close to the family denied that the alleged stabbing incident occurred, and it could not be corroborated by police reports since he was only a minor. Despite this trauma and domestic violence, experts have stated that it is unlikely that the story was fabricated. When he was a child, he discovered his uncle's deceased body after his uncle committed suicide by hanging. So he discovered the body. He referenced this trauma from the incident in multiple songs. In 2017, he alluded that he himself had been sexually abused by an unnamed adult self. Maybe it was the uncle. I don't know. Other traumatic events that Freud witnessed as a child included someone being tortured and someone being raped. And you know what I mean by raped. According to Freud's mother, he was routinely beaten by his dad as a child. She claimed that his dad tried to hit her in front of him on several occasions. In 2008, when Freud was 10, his father was put in jail in Arizona after Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA sting operation. His father was released from custody and then deported to Jamaica in late 2016. When asked about his relationship with his father, Freud sarcastically asked, "What's a father?" So thought I'd, give you guys some of the background into his childhood so you can kind of see to some extent his frame of mind.
Yeah, he died. He was almost still a child. Man, 20. That's a few years into adulthood, depending on the person.
Yeah, named after Ja. I thought I heard where, I don't want to say this, but I thought his mom was maybe a sex worker too to get the drugs, and he was around all that. But don't quote me on that, people. I want to say I heard that somewhere. So it was that kind of lifestyle for him. Imagine maybe if his uncle was, molesting him out there, and then now you see him just hang himself. That's a lot, man. That's a lot on a grown adult as opposed to a 6-year-old.
A whole lot. Finding anybody dead. Let alone somebody, in your family, your uncle.
Yeah.
Hanging.
Saw women get hard. That's what I'm saying. It had to be, some sort of situation. A lot of this can lead to violence, and if we're not getting the psychological, mental, and proper counseling, which we're not getting, in this can happen in any community. And we said on this show, we were talking about the labels themselves. I don't know if it's an accident that they're selecting these types of young men.
It's not. It absolutely is not.
What do we find? They're first generation. Their parents won't have no idea really what's going on. I don't mean to say that in a funny way, in American culture, so to speak. You know what I mean? So the kids are able to move a certain way and the parents don't know what's going on. Some of them don't even speak English, But I do find that a lot of these rappers, you go up and down the list, their parents are from some other country.
I mean, a lot of the celebrities, period.
Yes. Yes. And if they're not, they're from the low end.
They're the ones here.
Could they be signing them to manipulate, to be able to get them to sign those 360 deals and tell them hey, sit down, I'm going to tell you what kind of song we want you to write.
Yeah. Or they're already writing that type of song.
Correct.
They're already making that type of music, and they just go on and say, "Oh, here's one."
Correct.
See what is? Oh yeah, they're not from here.
But your son could be making the same type of song, but since he's got two intelligent parents in the picture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won't necessarily want to sign him the same way they want to sign Pookie or Ray Ray.
No. It's a narrative they want presented, and they're less likely to get that from people who have both of their parents and live from the society and live according to the society. They'll know more and be more on top of stuff they like to sneak into
you have a greater sense of
in the
history of
contracts.
when you're being samboed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know how that goes against your ancestry and your parents. Funny thing happens though, Self, which we'll get more into later. And this is the whole thing. I mean, we're just kind of explaining to you all where the series comes from. We mean no disrespect by it. 187 bars. Funny thing seems to happen. Same thing with King Von, rest his soul. And you know, Lil Tim, they dropped charges.
Did they?
Dropped charges. King Von was shot 8 times for beating up Lil Tim's friend, hands to hand, 1-on-1. Shot 7 times, but supposedly Lil Tim only shot 2 times. So there's more going on. We're gonna cover that.
Right, because they never could prove that Lil Tim shot him.
Well, Lil Tim proved he shot him twice, but it's a self-defense. Georgia's a stand your ground state, but wasn't nobody coming at you, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Part of that is you can protect somebody else, but I mean, I didn't think you could up the ante if he's using fists, and I didn't think you could shoot somebody.
That's what I said. It's dangerous, Self. I could be with you and somebody else, and you can get into a fight, and I can decide, okay, I don't like that guy anyway, and I've been looking for a reason to kill him. And I just pull out my gun and yeah, he hit Tory 3-4 times and knocked him down. So I shot him 7 times. However, Lil Tim didn't shoot him 7 times. He shot him twice. But Von was shot 7 times. There were police there. There's something going on, Self. You know, the police were there right away shooting people.
Well,
so
that was a whole hit.
Yeah.
That was a whole hit. I didn't know that. I know that they said Lil Tim shot twice, but I didn't hear that they could actually prove that he shot him.
And when they made their they never made an announcement that there was going to be no charges on Lil Tim. You know, this is a big case. This would be like somebody shot Tupac. You know what I'm saying? And they just never made an announcement. It's just boom.
Yeah.
So funny. Strange things are afoot. You know. But I was saying that to say when these guys turn, though, these type of guys we're talking about, or maybe they might be from the low end and they just got a good heart. We know people like that. You got people with bad hearts, good hearts everywhere. But what I'm saying, they got a sense of self, a knowledge of self. They had parents in the picture, you know, father and everything, and they see the game. Nas would be a good example. Nas would be a great example of this. But many of them, when they turn, all of a sudden something happens to them.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri's ear hustling because we're talking about big music. Only does this during the show. All right, let me cut her off. So we went through his early life. And we talked about a little of his legal issues. You know, he stabbed somebody that attacked his mom allegedly when he was 6. You know, just to give you an overview, it was a lot of fighting, you know, and I had to look at how our society doesn't take a case like we should be offended when we hear what happened to him, but it's all about accountability and punishing these people. And, you know, you just heard how he came up. I'm not saying he should be let go scot-free, but you got to get him in some sort of intense, you know, program, man. So let's see, because it was a lot more than the when he beat up his girlfriend allegedly.
Yeah. Supposedly she was pregnant, and he strangled her, broke her orbital bone.
Okay, so here we go. Yes, he was arrested for possession of 21 grams of marijuana. Which, what is that, Tom? How much is that?
21 grams, 28 is an ounce.
14 is a half ounce. It's close to 3/4.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 3/4. Yep.
So he's arrested with that. Nobody cares.
Right. That's not even an ounce. I mean, what's it?
Well, it's 21 grams. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. But you're right. You know, and it's Florida now, which is now legal. So he got 1 month in the juvie and 6 months at a behavioral correction facility. And who knows what's going on in those places?
No, a lot of the time it's not good.
Shortly after his release, he was arrested again. So this is 2012. When did we say he was born? 2000, I think.
98.
Okay, so he's 14. So he was arrested again for breaking into a house to steal a laptop, but he was doing it to use the laptop to create music. Right there, that's a green flag. That's a crowd for society. Get him in a proper program where he can just focus on music.
Or something besides breaking in. The breaking in part was bad, but he was doing it to try to further himself. So it's get the kid a laptop. He's 14. Doesn't need to go to jail for that. You know, if he was it's other people, judge would be like, I don't want to ruin his whole life over that.
Exactly. So 100%, and it's just, there's, that's just kind of what this show is about. Right there, he did have an out and was crying for it in 2014. So now he'll be what, like 16. He was sentenced to a youth detention center. That doesn't sound good. He got a year there on a gun possession charge. According to Onfroy, during his time in detention, the DA was attempting to try him as an adult for gun possession, which would have had a sentence of 5 to 10 years. His Onfroy's narrative of this time in youth detention has been disputed by sources interviewed for 2020 biography. He may have served 1 month's detention as part of a wider sentence of less than 1 year, and his charges cannot be corroborated by public files as he was a juvenile. In 2015, Onfroy attempted to commit suicide by running into incoming traffic. He was transferred to the hospital for his injuries and was ultimately fined $86.50. They fined him for attempting to commit suicide. They fined
another call out.
Absolutely.
Another call out to society for,
Absolutely. And we fined him. And we fined him $86.50. And he probably had to pay for the damage to the car. So Dylan Turner, known professionally as Tablez, a New Jersey native studying at managed XXXTentacion and his best friend Ski Mask the Slump God in 2016. Due to Onfroy's inexperience in music and Tablez's inexperience in management, they agreed that Tablez would be paid only in the proceeds from the songs Look at Me. One night, Ski Mask and Tablez, you got a homie named Ski Mask, that should tell you something. Ski Mask and Tablez got into an argument while at Tablez's apartment, which led to Ski Mask storming out. Ski Mask later called Onfroy while drunk and lied that Tablez had taken thousands from Onfroy. According to Tablez's account, days later, an angry Onfroy and others broke into Tablez's apartment, and Onfroy shouted, "What if I stab you? What if I effing stab you?" while poking a knife towards Tablez's stomach, stopping just a few inches short and then pulling back. Tablez said he did not know if Onfroy meant to stab him because Onfroy said in shock, "Oh, F," after Tablez exclaimed to Onfroy that he had stabbed him. However, the blade sank into his abdomen. Tablez recounted that Onfroy and the others then stole his laptop and fled. Kid he wanted a laptop, didn't he, so?
He wanted to do the music, I guess. He was probably some music on that laptop that it was his.
Yeah, and if all that's true, I mean, you got a homeboy named Ski Mask. Any kid out there,
Ski Mask, the Slump God. Slump God? What is?
Yeah, he's liable to lie to you and tell you your other homie stole thousands of dollars from you. Which apparently, if the money was stolen, then guess who stole it? So,
Slump God.
Ski Mask. He's telling you it is, Tablez required emergency surgery. He pledged to drop charges if his computer could be returned. He said he didn't want one bad choice to define who Onfroy was. So Onfroy paid for the hospital bills. Where was he getting all this money? And later apologized to Tablas and thanked him for dropping the charges. Whatever. All right. So July 14th, 2016, after being bailed out from stabbing Tablas, Onfroy was arrested and charged with robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and home invasion. According to the arrest, Onfroy entered the home of Che Thomas with 3 other people armed with the firearm. After pistol whipping Thomas 3 times, Onfroy escaped the home with an iPad out there yourself and an iPhone, a Sony PlayStation Portable, and $20. He was arrested in Orlando originally, but was later transferred to Orange County. His constant relocations were due to an eventually successful plan by prosecutors to find a jurisdiction that would charge him as an adult for a crime committed as a juvenile. He got released on bond. He pled no contest to the charges and was ultimately sentenced to 6 years probation. And he came up on that. After posting the bail of $10,000 in early October the same year, awaiting trial, he was arrested again that month on charges of ag battery of a pregnant woman. You mentioned this, domestic battery and false imprisonment. He was released from jail on $50,000 bond while facing charges of robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. His trial for the domestic violence and witness tampering charges was originally going to take place in May 2017 and was pushed back several times. On September 2017, Pitchfork leaked that testimony of the alleged victim in Onfroy's case. The trial was then delayed. What happened? Okay, so, all right. There was a big deal about his girlfriend. She declined to testify in court, making the battery charges being dropped and an acquittal. So he beat that. Yeah, it seems like they beat these cases or they get probation court. Yeah. All right. So there's a whole lot going on, man. I could read it's a whole lot, man. I mean, he's gone, so he's innocent of all this. But this was all as a juvenile. And then he hit a point where he turned.
Yeah.
He started getting some psychological help. I know that.
I heard him say that he'd started meditating.
Mm-hmm.
And through these meditations, he started traveling, mentally. And said he started noticing frequencies that would calm people down or could make them angry, which, the different frequencies. And he honed in on the calming and letting people know that they could achieve what they wanted to achieve in life. It's very interesting. Very interesting. He's a kind of a strange looking too. Like he is made up of all of those.
Yeah, I can see
people that he claimed to be.
Yeah,
he's not no regular looking guy.
Yeah, he's almost like an everyman.
Man.
So we went through his legal issues. He got into music. They persuaded him to join a church choir. His aunt, so she put him in a choir. He was soon kicked out of the choir after attacking another student for touching him. So, he would have had issues if somebody was rapping him. You know what I mean? And these are the things.
Yeah.
He began writing music after being released from a juvenile detention and soon started his career on SoundCloud in 2013. He attended Margate Middle School, from which he was later expelled after a series of fights. He was subsequently enrolled in Sheridan House Family Ministries by his mother for over 6 months. He began to listen to rap, new metal, and hard rock during this time at the Sheridan House Family Ministries. Sounds like they were rapping him, which led to him learning how to play piano and guitar. Onfroy attended Piper High School until he dropped out of the 10th grade, He described himself as a misfit during that time, citing how quiet he was despite being popular and regularly involved in physical confrontations. As a child, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder out there, so they was probably giving him some pills. He wasn't an athletic type and said he was insecure and depressed during his time in high school. So, what is his genre of music? Would you call it hip hop? So,
I wouldn't.
I'd almost call it grunge hip hop or metal hip hop.
Yeah, metal rap. I don't know about calling it hip hop.
Yeah, grunge rap.
Yeah. Interesting though. I mean, he said he was using these frequencies in his music, and I was probably drawing certain people to it.
Yeah,
I think the first time I ever really heard of him, he said that Drake had took something to his style or rap or his flow or something.
Yes, he was trolling Drake. I don't know if he was trolling. Remember, that's how they all were making it. I don't know if they was trolling him or what, but yes, he said Drake took his whole style from him, which he even talked to. Yeah, I forgot to. Yeah, I would want to mention. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
I think
They
that
were
was the
having
first
beef
time
for
I
a
ever
long
heard
time.
of him.
Yeah, you're right. Forgot about that. Yeah, could this be Drake's team discrediting him? But yeah, he had an unconventional, rap style. They use a lot of distortion. You remember he said he was a sound engineer at 13. Heavy guitar-backed instrumentals. He drew inspiration from emo and grunge. In 2014, they started Underground Collective, and and then he started making it through SoundCloud, rap, a trap music scene that takes elements of lo-fi music and harsh 808s. He started getting mainstream attention with a single called Look at Me. His debut album is certified triple platinum back in 2017 in the US and reached number 2 on the Billboard 200. His second album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and is certified quintuple platinum in the US. His lead single, Sad, posthumously reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. He's amassed more than 1.3 billion views on YouTube and 1.7 billion streams on Spotify by November 2021, as well as being certified diamond by the RIAA in 2021. So just giving you guys, because a lot of you guys might not really know. He had a big fan base. He had a following like Beyonce.
Yeah, he's got somebody got paid. So that was a huge incentive to unalive him.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. What label? Do you know what label this kid was with? It'll blow your mind when I tell you.
It's probably, can't think of the name of it, but it's the same one with King Von, Young Dolph. Damn, I can't think of that dude from Dallas. It's a lot of murdered.
Well, he started with Capitol Music Group, and then Virgin Music, and then Columbia Records, and then he finished with Empire.
Right, Empire. That's the one right there.
And remember, Empire had the Happy TV show with all the misgenders. Remember the number 1 TV show called Empire?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the same label, but
it's not the same people. No, it's not the same people.
To your point, when you said somebody made a lot of money off of that, well, it's probably his mom. Sure, his mom is rich, living in a big mansion.
Depends on the contract he sold. I mean, it really does. But with Empire, most of those artists owned their stuff. They was a partnership type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So his family might still be, but some of these contracts, they don't get a family nothing.
No, I mean FBG Duck. See, you got to have a mama clause in your contract. You know what I'm saying? Something.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to have a will. You got to know where your money goes, and you're right, because some of that money ain't perpetual. They're probably giving these guys contracts up until the day of your death. And if you die for any reason, all the money goes.
We own all of the rights.
Yeah. And if you get the right people, they'll sign that because they're living in hell.
They don't know that's in there. Have you seen how many of them don't read anything? They just offer them a contract and they just sign it.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the people you're looking for. Not the ones that are going to say, mom and dad said they want to have their lawyer look this over. They don't want to.
Yeah. They'll say, okay, if that's what you say, but you might not get you might be being signed to be put on the shelf at that point. They know they can't really control you like that.
Who's behind Empire?
Man, I can't think of his name, but it's a guy that's the CEO or whatever of it.
Some sort of small hat? Was he a Suge Knight
Not
type?
sure. He looked like a regular guy, but I can't think. Let me see.
And you remember he was XXX was one of the forerunners in the whole Me Too movement. He got caught in that, with his DB case.
Oh yeah.
He got drugged.
His name is Ghazi Shami.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like he's from Israel.
Yeah, small hat. Doesn't really. Oh yes, he does. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yes.
Pardon me.
So he was at the the birth of the whole Me Too movement too, because they drugged the hell out of him for his DV case, which he ultimately beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he ultimately beat the case, bro.
Yeah. They put a lot of stuff on him. It makes him more popular.
Facts.
Minerals, food for your soul, information and plans integral to making your mind grow. With more growth and development, BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent.
Y'all know what time it is.
The Self Luv Show. The Self Luv Show.
It's the halftime. So today we are unpacking 187 bars. Got into early life and its legal issues, and a little bit into the man. But we're gonna dig much deeper and give you way more information in the time to come. We have some very excellent videos for you to check out. We'll be right back at you.
It looks like white people attacking a black man. I felt that was the case, what everybody's thinking. But, I don't know the hearts of those men. I have no idea what's in their heart.
You certainly weren't going out there to help them, were you?
He is the agitator. But, we make fun of that on this show. We don't know what's in these people's hearts. They don't know what's in each other's heart. That was a big catchphrase, late 90s. Did you see the sister's face when he said it too?
But, I don't know the hearts of those men. I have no idea what's in their hearts.
Come on, Cooter. She's like, come on, Cooter. It was just good old Southern Hatfields versus the McCoys. The coloreds against the whites of the town. Shipboat Captain Cooter is Booger of the Week. you on the PA, and everybody else on the boat like, man, they down there kicking skeeters.
So I would say, and I can't speak for LA, but in Chicago, we still remain the most segregated city, one of the most segregated cities in the country. And a recent Tribune study showed that Black people, regardless of income, in Chicago, live within a half-mile radius of each other. So we haven't necessarily always left the community, because even when you make money in the Black community in Chicago, you still find yourself relegated. I'll throw back to the George Wilborn story. George Wilborn wanted to buy a house in Bridgeport. It was a $2 million house. He was like, I buy it cash. They was like, no, you can't buy this house here.
White folk are rich and powerful because Black folk worked for 310 years and got not one day's pay. We need repairs, and that same unhealthy attitude of misusing our women is still with us. Willie Lynch, who gave the ways that we could keep being divided so that they could rule us for 1,000 years. That sickness is still with us. A few of us have wealth while the masses of our people are going steadily down. No one man can rise above the condition of his people.
There are a lot of people out here that are sitting on cash that want to be able to get a greater return for their money than what they could get in a CD, sitting in a bank account, even with the stock market. This is the thing that kind of got me being on the investor side of the business. That's different from, I want to buy a piece of property, so I'm going to go to a bank and then I'm going to do all the things that I need to do to get a bank loan to buy a property. You can go to a bank and go through that traditional route, but when you're an investor, you can find a guy that's sitting on $500,000, and in order to loan that money, he's not necessarily going to look at your tax returns. He's not interested in your credit score. He don't want to see your W-2s or want to see how many years you've been on your job, what's your title. He's not interested primarily in any of those things. He wants to sit down across the table from you and just kind of see what kind of gut feeling he gets from you as a person. Does he get the sense that you're somebody with integrity that he could trust with his money?
Man, I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. You know, it don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real. Like, people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro,
They're so ignorant.
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it,
this platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Yes, y'all.
Growth and development, BS is irrelevant to the intelligent. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent. It's the Self Luv Show, the Self Luv Show, the Self Luv Show. We do it for our people. It's the Self Luv Show, it's the Self Luv Show, it's the Self Luv Show. There's no equal. The Self Luv Show, the Self Luv Show, the Self Luv Show. We wordsmith 9 meals. The Self Luv Show, you know how the story goes.
It's the Self Luv Show. 187 bars. XXXTentacion. Hits murder. We unpacking. First half we did his early life, some of his legal problems and issues.
It's the Self Luv Show. The Self Luv
Got
Show.
little into
The Self Luv
the
Show.
man, but we're about to get further into it.
It's the Self Luv Show. It's the Self Luv Show.
So y'all will know what's really going on. Is it a hit? Is it a music sacrifice? Music industry sacrifice?
Man, once again, RIP to this brother, and condolences to his family out there.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely what we're going to get into. Hold on.
I didn't hear what you said. So I'm about to get back into it.
Oh, yeah, I was getting static. That's why I stopped for a
okay.
second. All right, so let's hop on it. So I want to get into kind of what you were going into, the fan base, and his whole movement. You know anything about the demographics of his fan base? Because you mentioned, how he's an everyman as far as race and culture.
I never really checked the demographic, but if it's he's got a grunge type of music, then those people can be almost anybody. Young people from all races.
Yeah, when I look at like highlights of his shows, there was a lot of white people, but yeah, and young. They were younger. A lot of black folks. Because if you look at his crew, Trippie Redd, I think is a blood, but that movement they had, it was different to me. This grunge type of, I don't think that existed when I was coming up. We had grunge type of people, but then they weren't rappers and gang members at the same time.
Right. Grunge, I really think that's like early 90s, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was there. You had the punk rockers.
Kurt Cobain and them, didn't they really, from Seattle, didn't they really start that kind of grunge movement that?
They did start a certain movement that went crazy, that type of rock music.
Yeah.
But you always had your punkers. I'm saying as far as, cliques,
definitely always had cliques. And punkers was before that. Definitely. Punkers was the 80s.
Yeah. And there was a handful of, I can remember, melanated people who would be with that clique. But I'm saying they weren't gang members or, like these are different types of cats. They're thugs and gangsters, but yet they're grunge, if that made any sense.
I mean, you are what you are as far as creatively to a certain degree. And then your affiliations generally come from where you grew up. So.
But again, no, come on, Self. If there was a grunge crowd at South Shore High School, I hear you. It would have been interesting if that person was a this or a that. You know what I mean? Right. It just seems like two different types of crowds, but like you said, yeah. Or are they just internet gangsters and then they start claiming the set? And
some of that too. Some of that. It's used to be you try to keep all of that out of your music, period.
Oh yeah.
So you can travel and go everywhere you need to go.
So you can do shows in your own city, like what don't happen with Lil Durk at United Center.
In any cities, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but I'm saying your own town, you can't even do it.
Yeah, so it's doesn't make sense out there. That's all. Doesn't make sense. So they are advertising this and limiting their whole ability to move around. So some of these people I don't really take seriously as a part of this gang stuff as far as the music.
Well, why do you think their crowd following them? Is it the music more or the message?
They could relate to his life. And the music, he readily admitted using frequencies to influence people. So,
well, this is a good question. He's named after Bob Marley, and I can use Bob Marley and Tupac as an example. So, why did you? I don't want to say follow them, but why were you appreciators of them? Was it their message more so, or the music, or it's intertwined? It can't be.
it's you can't separate them. Although those people said things off, not on music that would contribute to you following them, but would you even listen if there wasn't the music?
Thanks. Well said. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And all the stuff that they say, when they start talking about their movement outside of their art is gravy. It's a cherry on the top.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that. And definitely his message, because, that type of crowd, they tend to be, depressed, so he was one of the first artists, Black artists at least, to start bringing consciousness to getting yourself some mental help out there, some counseling. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the first ones. One of the reasons why his music resonated with so many people was his ability to express his inner thoughts, which I could say about Pac and Bob Marley, and feelings in a candid and relatable way. That's Pac all day. He often addressed topics such as loneliness, alienation, Pac did too, suicide, Pac never talked about suicide, and spirituality in his lyrics. And a lot of that stuff, the suicide, they'll latch on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's very relatable. So he had a huge following.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He's been through that pain.
Yeah, he was vulnerable. He expressed that he could talk to somebody that's thinking about suicide.
Okay, kind of like DMX. He almost came up like DMX, but DMX without the grunge.
Right.
Well, he's DMX with the grunge. Right. Right? Can you say that? Traumatic upbringing, foster abuse, this and that, going in and out of.
That's that man. As soon as he turned, around, and they,
then he went crazy. So they say.
No,
so
after they said he was straight, and
rest up, DMX.
Rest up. Shouldn't took that jab though.
Yeah, jab. So that's why he resonated. Now, he also incorporated metaphysical concepts such as karma, reincarnation, which we did a show on last week.
Check it out.
Astral projection. Tupac talked a lot about astral projection. He even had a song talking about the astral plane. And enlightenment into his song. So I want to break down, briefly what each of those concepts are. Self-karma. What's karma?
Karma is you get what you put out. So you do something, you're gonna get it back. And that's good, bad, ugly, or otherwise.
Reincarnation.
Recycle, respawn on a new plane, doing a new game called life.
And then astral projection, the astral plane.
Well, the astral plane is kind of abstract.
Spirit world, you could
to
say.
A certain degree. In a lot of ways, it's the real world.
Yeah.
They say this is the illusion that we're in.
Well, light is only a small infinitesimal amount of the darkness that surrounds us. So our life would be. Go ahead though. Yes, I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more light than you can perceive in this body. This vehicle has limitations, and there's stuff going on all around us that we can't, we don't know is there. And I won't say we can't.
we don't perceive consciously.
Right. We don't perceive it, so we don't consciously interact with it. Yet we have the ability to. There are different planes. There are different different levels. Like this third density. There's other dimensions. Fourth, fifth, lots of dimensions. Astral plane is one of the dimensions. And you can meditate and go to the astral plane, or there are substances that can take you to the astral plane, like ayahuasca and different mushrooms.
Yeah, I mean, you hit that all on the head, bro. It's associated with dreams and forms of meditation. It's a term used in esotericism to describe an intentional out-of-body experience. It assumes the existence of a subtle body known as the astral body or body of light. So you hit the nail on the head, through which consciousness can function separately from the physical body and travel through the astral plane. And that's what Pac was on. Pac was on that shit too. So I mean, this kid was 20 years old. I think he definitely been here before, or this young man, I should say.
Yes, definitely, as most of us have. So,
but what about enlightenment? Because this is weird that we kind of covered all of this last week, and then now we're talking about him. I don't believe in coincidences, but enlightenment could be that nirvana type of thing.
Yeah, it's just a download, a turn on. If you know you've been here many times, at some point, some of those memories turn on, or at least the information from the memory, maybe not associated with the past life, but the information is open to you and downloads to you if you live a certain way and ask for that, quite frankly.
And I think, you just made me think of something. Teachers, and I'm not talking about they necessarily work for the Board of Education, but teachers. Yeah, I think at some point in your progression through your recycling, you become a teacher more so than a student. You're always a student, but you become a teacher more so. Like this guy, they have a message that they're pushing out there. It's interesting. And he chose, in my opinion, to come through his mom's portal and to experience what he experienced.
Absolutely.
To become what he became.
As we all do.
Yes. We're not saying he chose to be molested, he asked for it. We're not saying it physically. Right.
Before he came. Beforehand.
Yes, that's
what,
Correct. Nobody's justifying anything here. Let's be clear. Now, what was he talking about regarding music frequency and vibrations?
He basically broke down that everything is frequency, which, I mean, is well known. Nothing here is solid. It's all moving. It's all fluctuating. But he said he noticed through sound engineering and manipulating frequencies that you could manipulate people. You can, well, not people, but their emotions. So he didn't say people, but I'm inferring that, because if you can manipulate somebody's emotions, you can manipulate them. And he openly admitted that he had that in his music. He had those frequencies that, depending on what the timbre of the song was, he would implement that.
So is it like subliminal messaging? Something embedded into the frequency? Is it embedded into the music?
I think it's the music, the frequencies of the music that he uses.
The hertz.
Yes.
Okay.
So the bandwidth, it's a frequency that can, a music that makes a lot of people cry. There's a, you know what I mean, and you see
432 hertz.
Is
That's not the one you're talking about.
No, that's love.
Right.
That's supposed to be resonating
right.
but
Which,
there's
if you add 4 plus 3 plus 2, you get 9. But go ahead.
It's the music I'm talking about is like they play it during dramatic parts of movies or whatever. When they're trying to touch you. Those frequencies, he kind of knew about those frequencies. Right. He knew about those frequencies per se, and used them. The tones, the correct tones, and the way to use them. And to affect his fans. That's, he got a fan base from, a huge one from that.
So what you're talking about, and I know exactly, I remember them talking to me about this in Ray in music school, and I didn't care, and I should have. The lowest note on musical instruments like organs, tubas, and pianos, which they use in those movies, those films that you're talking about, and cellos, all in the 5 to 70 hertz frequency range. Dun, 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 dun. That's crazy. So in a song called Infinity 888, he collaborated with fellow rapper Joey Badass to rap about their spiritual journeys and their belief in the power of numerology. They also referenced the 432 hertz frequency, which is said to be the natural vibration of the universe and to have healing properties. So that would probably be the vibration at 0, like the midpoint.
It was the base of music before they moved it to 440.
The
440 is very destructive.
See,
they knew it was 432. Everything, all instruments are tuned to 440, and they used to be tuned to 432.
Oh, wow.
That's the middle C or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Even church music sounds evil sometimes.
I mean, it's all tuned to 440, so.
Gospel music.
And gospel music, secular music, it's not much difference these days.
Potatoes.
Yeah. The music itself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The frequencies, the way it's written, it's very, very similar, a lot of it.
Listen to this. He claimed to have had mystical experiences and visions that inspired him to create his music. We've heard this about almost all these artists we've covered on this series. For example, in his song, I Spoke to the Devil in Miami. Is he talking about Empire? We have to find out where Empire is located. He raps about having a conversation with Satan, who offers him fame and fortune in exchange for his soul. He rejects the deal and says he will find happiness within himself. So you run around talking about these frequencies, love and all this and that, saving the world, emancipating people, and they need these sacrifices and these suicides and all of this low vibrational energy to thrive off of. And you're running around doing all of that turning down deals with the devil and yapping.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that Bob Marley talked about the devil, Tupac talked about the devil. So,
and they both got killed. Murdered.
Yeah.
Murdered. You guys think we're just wearing tin hats. We just question everything. That's all. We just ask questions. There's no law against what?
Questions.
That's right. There's no law against Yet. Yet. Very good point. What about his dual nature? And that's why I spent so much time on his background. Do you think he was bipolar or on the spectrum?
I mean, he was diagnosed as such, but he's been through a lot. So he could. Lots of trauma when you're in theta can definitely split you can be split, and
that's how to create a luminous or a murderer 101.
Yeah.
Some people split during the pledge process that didn't exist.
Yeah. I did. I left all of that too.
Yeah, some people split, so you can imagine being in Theta. But they say when I say they, I mean the powers that be, when they want to create people, you say, how can he just look so evil in the eyes like that and make these rules and sign these laws and do this and starve all these millions of people to death and just go through life? A lot of them are raised like this. So, yeah.
A lot of your favorite politicians.
Yeah. So bipolar, like you say, I mean, I think he is a little bit of both. I think so definitely bipolar due to the trauma, and I think he may have already been on the spectrum. And when I say that, I don't mean I don't say that negatively. The autism spectrum.
Yeah, I don't get autism. I don't get that spectrum from him.
Well, he said he was popular, but he kept to himself. He beat up somebody for touching him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I was quiet and stayed to myself, and had a fight with my teacher because he touched me.
There you go. I mean, look at you on the scale.
I wasn't on the spectrum.
Well, they probably
out of
didn't
autism. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you went to one of those bougie schools for the Cosby kids, anyway.
No, I didn't.
You always talk about on the show.
Great school for me. It was perfect for me. Regular school. When I got to regular school, it was just like, this is okay. I know all the answers already out there.
Yeah, and he had ops. That was the thing. I don't know what he was doing out there, the breaking and entering allegedly and all of that, stealing computers.
Well, the fighting, the hurtness, hurt people. So like,
yeah. And then you get into it with Drake.
And then his they say his father regularly beat him. So I mean,
he's making him tough.
Well, he had him out there beating other people.
But that was according to the mother. They're never the victims. I mean, they're always the victims. You know what I mean?
He didn't. Well, he said, "What's a father?" So I mean,
he did say that. He did say that, but
that would make me think that he wasn't in the picture at all, though. Not that he was beating him all the time.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was,
Right.
I don't want to question his mom, but and he tried to beat on me a couple times around him. What do you mean tried? Did he do it or didn't he do it? And then you know what I'm saying? What, did you stop him? What happened?
Is that who he tried to stab?
Correct. Or allegedly stabbed. So okay, how was he murdered? The video is the police, but anyway, from what you remember, Self, what led up that day, on that day, what was he doing? How was he murdered? What's the quote unquote story?
That he had like $50,000 in a duffel bag and went to buy a motorcycle of some sort. And somebody called somebody or whatever. I don't know how they knew or they were just following them or what, but it seemed like a complete setup. It was a hit as far as I'm concerned. They made it look like it was a robbery.
Ace said Justin Time is on the spectrum because that's what DJ E. Grotto's been suggesting on the show. Yeah. Yeah. Came on the show last week and suggested my man Justin Time is on the spectrum. His kid graduate. Well, those kids be smart though. He did say that. I mean, because you're on the spectrum.
Some of them.
Man, a lot of these billionaires are on the spectrum.
Well, I mean, they get a different type of education.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get the slavery education that and the overseer education that we got. The people get the slavery education. We kind of got the overseer conversation education. They get that.
if you want this funding, you're going to follow this curriculum, right?
Yes.
So,
period.
yeah. And you're going to take all the shots. We're not going to say anything more than that.
Yeah.
All the shots, the
Yeah.
hundreds of shots that they're giving the kids, so that they can end up on the what?
Spectrum, or not end up on the spectrum, but a different spectrum. The slavery spectrum. They got the overseas spectrum.
Well, the Nation of Islam said those vaccines is leading to all of the autism.
Well,
that's what the nation is saying.
Well, it's fact that
they found a correlation between the increased vaccinations and whatever they're putting in them, like lead
and the
stuff
change
like that.
and the change of them, because
Yes,
I know it wasn't a whole lot of us on the spectrum, and we got those early
it wasn't.
jabs. So
you couldn't be on the spectrum.
There's a change.
You
They
could not
changed.
be on the spectrum on the south side of Chicago walking around.
They made clear that
Yeah.
there was a change in what they put in them things. Period.
What's his name? He's been banned from here. The young dude in the nation.
RZA Islam.
Yeah, RZA. That's why they banned him. RZA went on a rant about the.
Well, they had to let them all back because they had to give them all their accounts back.
Well, RZA don't have no. He
got
beat
one on
his
TikTok.
he beat his federal case, but he not back on YouTube. Yeah, he had a lifetime ban. But yeah, he did beat that federal case though. Self threw the case out, fought him for 10 years, had him paying for lawyers, but they had the nation attorneys, and threw the case out.
Well, they had to, especially. Well, they were supposed to get reinserted back on all the social media stuff, because the social media colluded with them people to take them off.
Well,
and kicked all of them. It was like 19 people, doctors. He wasn't even a doctor, but it was 19 doctors and RZA Islam.
Right, but he was researching it and quoting doctors and stuff, and yeah, they got after him. But no, you said the story was right. His death was a result of a violent ambush, allegedly by 4 men who wanted to rob him of $50,000 cash that he had withdrawn from a bank. So what do they call that? Swapping or something like that? When they're following you around.
Yeah.
The men followed him to a motorcycle shop where he was shopping with a friend. I think that was his uncle. They then blocked his car with an SUV and confronted him at gunpoint. One of them shot him multiple times in the neck before fleeing with the money. Right, multiple times in the neck. He's just pointing squirrels. That's what he was doing. So, and I remember his uncle was able to drive off. It was something about that. One thing about him though, Self, I remember he was talking about it. Okay, it's one thing, Self, if you're gonna, not have security. But I wouldn't go out on the world and internet and tell somebody I don't use security and I don't have security. I mean, that's a need to know basis. I'd probably be like, I got security, but you'd never know they were there. You know what I mean? So they might look like the grandmother, the homeless person, you know what I'm saying? But I got security. But yeah, he was one of those, bro. That's what I'm saying. Cause he was so good. He probably was good with these and kept one on him. But didn't have security, though he had all those ops.
Yeah, well,
he was pulling a Jacob.
You're gonna be out in the public, then you need to, have some security
with 50 stacks.
So yeah, you don't. I mean, especially if you're going to get that type of money out to go make a purchase like you were going to make. I mean, even if you don't regularly walk around with security, you probably want to walk around with security if you're gonna have 50 racks.
And if you got those things on you, you and your friend or your uncle, whoever the case may be, have those things ready.
No, you pay somebody to have them things. You pay somebody to have them things, and they're ready the whole time, and you don't have to worry about none of that part.
Right,
and,
but if
anything
I agree.
Pop off,
I agree.
Pop off, they're licensed and insured and all of that.
I agree with that 100%. But you gotta be careful on who you're paying, because sometimes
they'll be the one to make the call.
They'll backdoor you. But I agree with it. What I'm saying is, though, since he wasn't the guy to have security, then he's got his own stick and his crew's got their sticks. when you're walking around $50,000 cash and you're in a Lamborghini, you need to have those things more ready. I know I'm playing, After Whist and, armchair, street dude, but you got to have those things ready, bro. Sounds to me like he pulled a Jacob, what's Jacob's name? He was on our show.
Jacobs, ain't it? John Jacobs.
Oh, that's right. John Jacobs. Yeah. I always thought that was his first name.
Yeah.
I love the hood. Yeah, but Jacobs, everybody called everybody by their last name and you thought they was their first name. I thought Cozy out there, that's not his first name. You like,
Yeah,
no.
it was his last name.
But Jacobs sitting there the whole time, like, my name ain't Jacob either. Ain't said shit. But anyway, I'm not in it no more. I'm turning my life around and, and I don't need the guys walking around with me like I used to have that security and I'm just on my own. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, Jacobs kept his stick at the ready, especially if he just pulled 50 stacks out the bank.
Yeah, that's fact. But this guy, I don't think he ever had no security. Yeah, I don't think
no.
Ever.
No.
So
he was trolling Drake, and Drake had the Bloods behind him allegedly, with that whole connection with Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj, and because Drake's not a street dude either, but that got pretty intense. I had forgotten about that. You brought it up. Yeah, that got intense, man.
Yeah,
they had to talk.
Drake got Jay Prince too.
Yes, exactly. And those were his ops. Well, I don't know that for fact, so could have been his ops, I should say. Amongst his. So how are they captured? Do you remember how the investigation went or anything?
No.
So 12, they were able to backtrack on these cameras. Seems like they should be able to solve more murders this way when it's your everyday Pookie and Ray Ray. But it's funny how they can, open and close these cases. But the police were able to identify and arrest the 4 suspects thanks to surveillance footage and cell phone data. So I think they were able to, put their cell phones in the vicinity of, the late, great XXX. They were all charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery. 3 of them were found guilty by a jury last month. They got life in prison without the possibility of parole. The 4th one pled guilty to second-degree murder last year and is awaiting sentencing. And I think that was like his plea. And I think he helped them wrap the case up too by pleading out to it and telling the whole story about it. We went and picked up Pookie and then we picked up Ray Ray. And
he snitched.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much to save his ass. Yeah, definition, yes, he snitched. Yeah, he snitched from what I remember. Yeah. Somehow they got on his ass and he just started talking. Yeah.
So, if you're gonna do anything, it's best to do it by yourself. But hold on, that they be self-snitching now. That's why people be finding out stuff.
Oh yeah, they get right on the internet 10 minutes after they do it. Holding up to 50 stacks. So they don't know. They'll show the money. Some of the money got serial numbers on it, and the feds be sitting there like, zoom in on that. Isolate the serial number. You know what I mean? Let's go to the bank and see what money they gave him. Who's at the bank? Who's in the parking lot on camera? Then they can do a drag net on all the cell phones in the area. Yeah. Where was XXX's phone? Where was their phone? And they paint that picture. And Empire is innocent. Empire Records is innocent. Well, they paint that picture. So how many fans? We keep talking about this 10 hat conspiracy theory. Why do many fans support our 10 hat? And I mean serious fans,
Huh? I get lost.
Why do serious fans of XXX support the 10 hat conspiracy theory that there's more to his death than those 4 Pookies?
Well, I mean, because they're fans, first of all. And second of all, something just doesn't seem right about it. I think that's what is he's coming into his own and saying, all of these existential things and speaking on esoteric information that probably freed some of these people's minds. They can't see that it was just a robbery. I mean, how did they know he got that money?
Yeah, there
Out
was a whole
and what was his whole movement to go do what he did? So
was
I mean,
the
it
whole
was a
bike
setup.
sale? Was the whole bike sale set up? Go ahead.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean. It seems like somebody called somebody. I don't know. It was at the bank, at the dealership. Somebody.
it would have
called
had to have been
somebody.
at the dealership. He saw the bike. He was talking about the bike. Okay, I want the bike. How much is it? Okay, I'll be right back. I'm about to go to the bank and grab his 50 stacks. I believe that's what happened. And one of them was standing around there overhearing it and then start calling people. And then they followed him to the bank, and that's when they got him. He had the 50 stacks in a Gucci bag, a Gucci backpack. Driving a sports car in Miami, which sports car in Miami, those are dimes of dozens, but his wasn't, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, man. You gotta be careful out there in Miami. Those palm trees will fool people. Same thing in LA.
You gotta be careful everywhere.
Thanks. Keep your head on the swivel out there.
Or be dangerous and make sure that you're safe.
But I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I have more to add about, why his fans, because he called his fans family. And he made it a point to say that, he's no different, than everybody that's buying his music, that he's one of them. And that's why he resonated with them. But oddities, I'm going to, let's talk about some of these oddities. His Instagram bio read "Bad Vibes Forever" before he died, which is also the name of his final album that was released posthumously in 2019. Some Self also claimed that he predicted his own death in a live video on Instagram where he said, and I quote, "If worst thing comes to worst and I effing die," or some SHIT, "at least you know I will be looking down at you guys." In addition, some fans believe that he faked his death. There was a lot of that with Tupac, or came back to life after seeing a video of him saying, "I'm still alive" on YouTube. But he didn't hire, ultimately that video was discredited by the feds. They claim it wasn't him.
Yeah. I saw the video about him saying if he died, he said a lot more than just that. He said that he wanted to, he had touched and changed some people's lives. And, that's what he was looking to do. If something happened to him or whatever, you know what I mean? He accomplished what he needed to accomplish. Basically, that's what I remember from the video.
Interesting, though. That's an interesting way to talk at 19, 20.
Yeah. Very. I was like, because I saw that way before we decided to do this show or whatever. It just came on one of the feeds that I was looking at, TikTok or YouTube. And I was like, I think I must have saw it right around after he died.
What can we learn from his life and death, good brother? And you went into some of it earlier when you're talking about the security and stuff. That's on my list, but go ahead.
Life is precious. Life is precious, and respect it. And if you had a means, secure yourself. If you're going to do something like that, get some security.
I'd say that too. And then you want to address your cosmic debt, your karma. I think a lot of these guys, because I hear them, shit on, I'm not saying he do it, but shit on the community, make all your money, grab your bag, and then move. And then the guys who you were having beef with, they ain't got no reason to decide that they want to stop beefing with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's because there's that karma that we were discussing earlier. Somehow it has to be addressed. Whether it's by your record label or it's got to be addressed. Sit down and talk. I don't know, but there's a cosmic debt that a lot of these being paid. I'm not saying he was out here robbing people. Maybe he was, or killing people, but that a lot of that seems to play into a lot of this too. So.
Yeah. I never really heard of Lil Buddy until they murdered Lil Buddy.
So now we had our poll question on TATN. I won't give you the results until after you tell me your selection. The question was simply, why was XXXTentacion murdered? Your options are industry sacrifice, or his message was simply too dangerous for the elite, or robbery, plain and simple, or unsure. Which one are you leaning towards? Simple sacrifice for profit?
Yes, sacrifice for profit.
His message was too dangerous to the elite, all the love and
that too, but I think it's the first one. I think that could be one or the second, but
I hear you.
I think it's the first one.
It's interesting. I'll tell you what I think shortly. Industry sacrifice, 33% of the voters said that. 22% of the voters said his message was too dangerous for the elite to be put out there. Okay. 39% said, hey, it's robbery, plain and simple. What 12 told you is the truth. You know what I mean? Facts are the facts. They've done their investigation. They got the cameras, and those are the facts. And the one guy admitted to it. And then unsure was 6%. So looking at these numbers, if you add industry sacrifice to message was too dangerous, which is similar, 55% of the voters believe that it was not robbery, plain and simple.
Right.
4 random bookies, one of them willing to sing like a bird, go out there and kill this man. He must have been going for a stick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Murder this man. But he might be the type of dude, like the way they claim Pop Smoke went out, which we haven't covered. These guys got guns on you, and I'm going to jump out of the shower and go tackle and wrestle and fight you. I'm not saying it don't happen, but that's what I'm saying about karma. I picked his message was too dangerous to the elite, which is still being sacrificed. It was a double bubble. You know what I mean? We can get rid of him and make money. We can't have this going out here. We're going to risk making him a martyr, which they've done, but we're going to make money out of that martyrdom, and he'll be dead. Rest his soul. The reason, so that's the reason I picked. His message was too dangerous for the elite, and they had to have him silent. So that's the one I wrote with. But that was only 22%. So, yeah, interesting. A lot of tin hat conspiracy theorists in this world. So, asking questions and shit.
Well, got to question everything. And I'm a conspiracy realist, not theorist.
And you are, and you're consistent. I know a lot of people like to say they're consistent when they're really not, but you're consistent. He had signed a $10 million album deal with Empire shortly before his death. FBG Duck had just recently signed. Rest his soul. Blood Money had just recently signed. Rest his soul. Vaughn had just recently signed. Rest his soul. I mean,
Young Dolph.
Well, yeah, Dolph had his own thing, but yeah, I'm sure somebody put a bunch of money in his pocket.
No, he was signed with Empire Records. They did his distribution. Yeah, Dolph was signed with him.
Wow.
Dude, the dude they chased down in
Mo 3?
Yep. Empire.
Mo 3 was talented too, bro.
Yes.
All right. So the question, was this man a madman or a genius or both?
Sometimes it's a thin line between the two. And some geniuses wrestle on that line. But I don't know. I mean,
he reminds me of Saint, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I don't know him. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
You know what I mean by Saint? You know what I mean? The way y'all describe him to me, not just fighting and doing crimes, but I mean standing for his, having a vision, being a leader. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Saint would have hired security. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know.
Shit, if we got big, he would have hired security. We'd
have needed it too. We'd have needed it too, because he wouldn't have been taking no shit out there as we was doing shows off people. So what do you say? You're saying a little bit of both. You said it's a fine line between genius and madman. Zakayla said sacrifice. Zakayla's in the chat said sacrifice. Zakayla agrees with you. Madman or genius? What are you saying, Sal?
I mean, it's a fine line. It might be a little of both, but you know, I don't know because I don't know him. You know what I mean? I'm going off secondhand information or third hand in some cases.
And
I don't
clips of interviews.
Yeah, and watching that's not, you know, I don't know him. So
I'm gonna say genius, plain and simple. I'm gonna say he was a genius, and many geniuses are discharacterized by the powers that be, you know, to appear as madmen when they're telling everyone the whole truth. Chicken Little, you know, genius. You know, we run around telling everybody the sky is falling. His timing was just off. You know, you know what I mean? You know, Chicken Little out there. So, yeah. So again, you know, condolences to his family.
Absolutely.
He's got interesting videos, and he got that one video seems kind of dark where it's like literally the devil's in the video. It didn't seem like he was on any misgender stuff, but he wasn't, you know, I'm sure he wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, against it, because the spirit seems to be kind of almost like a nepopath. No, what do you call that? Like an indigo. What do you you're a empath.
Yeah, empath.
Yeah. Yeah. He was probably an empath when he came here. Yeah. Just because somebody's an empath don't mean they won't, you know, knock your ass out.
Oh, that's a fact.
You got anything else? Oh, we're changing our schedule. It's going to be on Tuesdays when the NFL kicks off. I meant to mention this in the announcement. So the September 10th show will be moved to September 12th. Yeah, and we're working on a guest to get our scheduling together. Should be good. The Black Hollywood series.
Amazing.
But XXXTentacion, you know, has RIAA certified sales of 61 million units in the United States and BPI certified sales of over 7 million units in UK, bringing his total to 68 million certified records sold in 2 countries. Since his death, he has won the American Music Award and a BET Hip Hop Award, and received 11 Billboard Music Award nominations. 2 posthumous albums were released, Skins in 2018 and Bad Vibes in 2019. The former became his second #1 album on Billboard 200, while the latter entered the top 5. We hope you enjoyed today's analysis and insights on the interesting life of XXXTentacion, his music, and legacy. Today, we unpack some of the highlights and controversies of his career and his life, as well as some of his metaphysical messages that he conveyed through his music and his songs. We also unpack the circumstances and theories surrounding his untimely death and how his fans and peers reacted to the loss. We hope today's show gave you a deeper appreciation and insight of his artistry and impact, as well as a better understanding of some of the metaphysical concepts that he explored through his music. We further hope you are inspired to think more critically and creatively about the gems dropped by this genius. Some may say madman, some may say both. If you have any feedback, questions, or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to contact us. You can drop it in the comments, or you can call or text 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll free.
Yes, right. Once again, that number's 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll free.
We'd love to hear from you and learn more about your thoughts and opinions on this genius and his music. Remember, that's not what culture can do for you, but what you can do for culture. As always, question everything. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Dorothy. Peer down these rabbit holes and do your own research. Use your own discernment. Use caution, because sometimes when you stare into the abyss, well, it's going to stare right back at you. Peace and self-love, honor, and respect. Right there, fella. We got big ups to Jackie. Big ups to no. R.I.P. Casper. R.I.P. Casper. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. And all right, so the riddle.
Big ups to Big Mark.
Big ups to Big Mark. Yeah. Happy birthday. The riddle, as was in the chat, it was solved by Self Love. He texted the answer to Sharuka. Chance to jump in here. Like Sharuka's she's the, end all be all to riddle solving. But the riddle was, if a rooster laid a brown egg and a white egg, what kind of chicks would hatch? Self Love?
Well, none, because roosters don't lay eggs.
Correct. And, I don't like how to question this at Ray School. Because it's a conditional question, right? It says, if a rooster laid a brown egg and white egg. Now, at that point, Self, it's not for me to say roosters don't lay eggs. I'm just saying, I would have fought back if I got that question wrong on a test. You see what I'm saying? And they would have gave me half credit.
No doubt. If they said it's a riddle, that's different than giving you that as a statement, though.
True.
Now, they say it's a riddle, then, I know it's a riddle, and yeah. It's a rooster laid an egg. That's why that went right up. It was like, rooster laid an egg. I'm like, roosters don't lay eggs.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be an assumption. It was like if the sun fell out of the sky and laid a brown egg and a white egg, what kind of chicks would hatch? You know what I mean? And the sun don't lay eggs, the sun don't fall out of the sky. But you're asking me to assume this, and that's what I'm saying. I think too much into it. I'd have fought it. But
if they'd have gave it and said it was a riddle, then that's still, like I said, it's different than they. At Ray, that would have, if they'd have said that, then you should have assumed it. Yeah, and they better not have no fucking issue with it.
Oh yeah, I'm going to see Miss Spurlock. That was the principal. Going right down there next. They knew me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not just winning out there in the schoolyard. I'm winning here in this classroom too. You're not going to do me. And you're giving these drop dead gorgeous pink and white kids, better marks. You marked his correct and marked mine wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's wrong with y'all? All right. I'm not your average everyday Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm not your average Pookie and Ray Ray. All right. But here we go, Self. Next week, it may be Black Hollywood. I haven't gotten a confirmation yet. we had this individual booked for the 10th, but again, that's the
Wait a
NFL
minute.
kickoff.
What?
Oh.
Today's the 20th.
You're right. That would be the 27th. You're right. I'm way ahead of myself here.
I'm like, wait a minute, we into September already?
Yeah, that would.
Am I in the right timeline here?
No, you're right. Wait a minute, who am I here? Yeah, that would that would be the 27th. I don't know. You got any ideas of mine, bro? And then you want to unpack next week?
Not that I can think of right offhand. But I'll see. Let me think about it.
All right. Well, we'll let you cats know we're coming at next week, and coaches on the West Coast out here. You know what I mean? Brought Hurricane Hillary with him. Big ups, coach. And
all right,
big ups
coach.
to big ups, Belinda. Don't let the palm trees fool you out here. Man, they came out here and went to Harold. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, went to Harold's in Las Vegas. He was like, it was pretty good. I was like, yeah, that's all you can say when you get to Harold's out here, even if it's the best for out here.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. His assessment was right. It's pretty good. So I mean, it's Harold's, but then
well,
it's not gonna be your higher end Harold's. But yeah, Cookie came out here and went to Harold's out there in Vegas with all that world class food and chefs.
You didn't try nothing new, coach, out there? We went to Harold's.
Big ups to coach. All right.
Creature of habit. That's my guy. Creature of habit, though.
He consistent. All right. So next week, on Mouthpiece Include itself, we're going to be doing black kegling or keglers. I don't think you Leo guys know what kegling is. At least Ace act like he didn't know what it is.
Throwing kegs over.
See, Leo guys. No, it's bowling. Some sort of off term, might be Yiddish for bowling. But yeah, we're doing the history of blacks in bowling. I'm sure, as me and Ace said, we'll dig into it. So realize we invented this.
Yes,
we invented the pin.
Yep.
We invented the. You know what I mean?
The floor going down there and the polish that was put on it. And the thing that lift the pins.
That's what they said. Yep.
Yeah.
They said the automatic pin setter.
Yeah. Bringing the ball back to the thing. All of that.
The wind that comes up to dry the palm of your hand self. They should have had that in classrooms at U of I for the big exam. Chalk out there. I'm about to cheat. You standing looking around. Big ups.
Goodness.
All right. Yeah, that's what we own. So it should be a good topic out there.
No doubt. That should be an excellent topic, actually. Look into sports, boys. It's a rabbit hole. It definitely don't end with those YT people. It definitely does not. You got to go deeper than that and find out. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all didn't. Wait a minute. Y'all didn't create this. Y'all didn't create it. Are you? Wait a minute. You said.
Have you guys created anything?
Right. Naismith? No, come on now.
Enough of my yapping out here. I'm going to turn this over to my brother to my right to close us out as he always does with my favorite part of the whole shebang. And that's going to be, we're going to take it from the top. Wordsmith's final words out there. It's loading for some strange reason out there. There we go.
Yes, y'all. Self Luv Show. 187 bars. With all due respect, RIP to XXXTentacion. Blessings to your family. He was built from a different recipe as most. But people felt him and held his art close. It's a shame he only got 20 years. But he came and put in work. He did his time and lived it like he was supposed to. Everything happens for a reason.
The reasons of why we in.
Mainly because of fear and devastation. But we gotta look at where he came from. In fact, came from hard times, a lot of trauma showed in his rhymes, showed in how he lived his life and how he died in time. But we never ever die. We just transform to a higher energy and elevate above the storm. We all gonna get our turn. I hope all our lessons are learned. Nobody burns. That's the fallacy, not reality. We're not casualties of this life we live. We planned a lot of it before we came here. We ain't know it's gonna be this rough though, because this place is a straight hellhole for some, but a heaven for more. It all depends on your mind state and what you came here to explore.
What
Do
you come for?
Do you want to stay on the floor or get up? And I'm standing tall. That's what I wish for all of y'all. On 87 bars. I hate that we even got a series that talks about how many of us have been killed. Artists, they make music.
Prophets murdered for profit.
It ain't even real. Words.
It's good shit, boy. That was fantastic.
Much appreciation. All
All
praise
right,
due to the creator.
Everything. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. Ponder that. Ponder that.
Do you think
Absolutely.
You know I'm the one.
Honestly, I don't know.
What do you mean?
You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Bullets are boomerangs.
Stand your ground.
Murder, suicide.
Yeah, an eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
You see something? Say something.
12. Slave theory. Greed plus ego over fear. Slavery.
Charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
Open your mouth. Fear is an illusion. Fear is cap.
Yeah, vibrate love.
And forgiveness is love's highest vibration.
So do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
Yeah. Let's go down there to Cook County and give all the COs unlimited Krispy Kremes and Dunkin' Donuts.
We don't mean that, but
Wise man on this show says, healthy people, heal thy people.
Because one thing we know for sure, hurt people want to hurt people.
Sad but true. Sad but true. And that's a known fact. They've known it for a long time. That's why they like to produce hurt people, have them produce records and music that hurt. So that you can create more hurt people who hurt more people. Free Larry Hoover.
Free Jeff Fort.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison of slavery.
Be Yahusha. Walk on water, man.
Man. Move mountains.
Uh-oh. Got an earthquake going on here. Got a hurricane coming. Ground shaking right now. I hear it. Oh, got an emergency alert. Drop, cover, and hold. All right. What's after Move Mountain?
Man, all we need is the faith of a mustard seed, and we got way more than that.
Yeah, we sure do. Fears cap. Mustard seed. How we supposed to do that?
Man, we already doing it. We on a mission.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Word.
Being the one is just like being in love.
It's gonna get right on out the way.
No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it. Through and through.
Man, you gotta check this video out. This shit is dope, so for the Kai Zodiac, man. Know that, so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, watch the video. It's dope. Support the Self Luv Show.